Hello and welcome to Soul Team Coaching #1, the very first group coaching call. I'm Adrienne Elise, your host, and I'm super excited to be here on this powerful day. These coaching calls are going to be happening near the first and last quarter moons, and so here we are. We're in between the new moon and the full moon. And so what is Soul Team Coaching and who am I? Well, Soul Team Coaching is an opportunity to come together with people who are on a spiritual path. This is support for spiritual growth, and we're coming together to help each other to find the information, the support, and the tools that can support our path in the best way for us to be the most ultimate version of ourselves. And so that's where I come in. My name is Adrienne Elise, and I am an intuitive teacher and healer in Missoula, Montana. I also work with a lot of people online all over with intuitive readings. So I have a private practice where I offer classical homeopathy, and I offer intuitive readings, and also I teach intuitive classes, and I also offer cranial sacral therapy, or my own version of it, which I call embodiment therapy. So I started my journey about 20 years ago, deeply delving into everything I could get my hands on that was interesting, fascinating, trying to know more about spirituality. And it all started with the Waldorf teacher. I'm a trained Waldorf teacher, and I learned to work Waldorf. I studied with the Rudolf Steiner, was a clairvoyant and intuitive who lived 100 years ago. And so I pull a lot of that information that I learned studying Rudolf Steiner into the work that I bring. I'm also a student of astrology, numerology, and alchemy. I do monthly YouTube videos on astrology that you can catch each month. And I'm just deeply into trying to understand the connection between the symbols and the stories and the ancient secrets and the modern knowledge. I have also studied quantum science and am really interested in the latest technology and how that relates also to our spirit. So all of this information is brought into these sessions. And the cool thing about Soul Team Coaching is that it's based on what you need. And it's based on, because my other classes I teach, I have a very specific curriculum of what I'm wanting to cover. But the Soul Team Coaching is intuitively channeled information specifically for you. So this is a really great platform, a program that we can come together, share on the chat. You can come onto the video, hang out, and ask questions and share your story. So the main point behind the Soul Team Coaching is to come together to find like-minded people to support. These are people that are also on a spiritual path and on a spiritual journey. And when you have these people in your life, this reflects back to you, especially as we're going through all these shifts and changes, and we are changing so fast, we might not know who we really are. And so we can have this beautiful experience of growing together and having shared experience. And the other thing about that is that when we come together as a group with an intention, and each call will have its own kind of theme that comes forward. But it's very powerful to work as a group as we address the similar situations that we're dealing with, growing through, learning about, and we also tap into the collective. We are able to support the collective energy and feel like we're just kind of on the pulse of what's going on. This is a powerful, amazing time that we live in. And that's what really called me to get into the study of astrology and start really looking at the planets and what they were doing in our current times, because we live in an amazing time. The planets are writing a story in the sky for us. So that's going to be a big part of Soul Team Coaching, is checking in with the planets and what they're doing and the collective energies that are going on around that. consists of, first of all, and a little grounding. Okay, we've arrived. Let's get into the vibration. Part of the energy of coming together at these holiday times, this full moon, first quarter, last quarter, we're getting into the rhythm of the earth. We're coming into a rhythm with ourselves. We're being able to stay grounded in our life and keep ahead of the curve by having this regularly scheduled event to keep us tapped in to the rhythms of Gaia, Mother Earth Gaia. And so we will be tapping into that energy and grounding into Mother Earth, and then talking about what's going on. Now, this is the interesting part, because Soul Team Coaching isn't a scripted thing. It's an intuitively channeled support program. What you bring to the call, your questions, your concerns, what you've been working on, those are intuitive information that comes through can come through us. And now this happens, together, go back and listen to the call again, to do the meditation and to get the information you need. So either way, the information is directly tailored to you, not it's made up ahead of time. And so that's really cool, because you'll also be able to come and ask questions and share as well. But your questions will be in the ether and be available to be answered. I had an experience a few years ago where I was a person that was very scripted, and I always had my list of exactly what I wanted to work on and talk about in the classes that I teach. And I just continually got the message that just put those notes away, put those notes away. And as I did that, I realized that I had a great ability to receive the intuitive information that was most appropriate for the group in the best way that they could receive it, by keeping myself as an open channel. And so there will be this period of time where we're talking about the stars, we're talking about what's going on on the planet and the energies, and I'll be sharing my own personal process. Also, then we can begin to share, and also you can get into the Google Hangout, and we can see your face while you experience or your question. And the group is invited to help each other, to comment, to bring in, oh gosh, this really helped me when I was going through something like that, And so this is where we get this soul team. Now, what is your soul team? We really think about this concept. The soul team is people that are also on a spiritual journey, are also wanting to actualize themselves into who they really are realizing that the time on the planet is so potent and so profound right now that they really want to be paying attention. Now, the other thing about your soul team is that they want to lift you up and hold you up and support you in your essence and who you are, because that's their journey as well. And your soul team, when you meet them, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I haven't met you before, but I knew a long time. And these people, these strategies, right? So, and we'll talk through that a little bit. These people have it, but it's so bright for these people to find this puzzle. It's something we're working on it. There's these bigger projects that we have planned to work on together in this time. So it's really amazing now to start finding each other and to start figuring out. So when you find a person on your soul team, it starts to clarify your role and help you understand your gifts and how they might fit into a bigger piece of the puzzle based on their gifts. So the soul team is able to mirror back to one another each other's gifts and support the development of our potential and move into that. And so then we can kind of come into this. Now, the thing is about this, when I explore this topic with people who are really on this path and looking for their soul team and open to these experiences, I find that people go through a period of time where they maybe feel like they're not connecting with other people, that their old friends or people around them, they're changing so much, or they're on a path to the point where they're not necessarily, they're having to let go of people in their life. And when you have set the intention to meet your soul team, often what happens is that what is in the way of you coming into vibrational frequency with that is going to come up. So this class is all, this coaching is all about being that support we all need to start to come into vibrational resonance with the truth of who we really are, which is also with our soul team and with our purpose and with the greater energies we want to work with in this life. I feel like we're really living. I feel like we've really arrived here. So many of us just go through life, getting through the next day like we're waiting for something to happen. It's like, no, how about the time is now? How about we sit and be here in this moment and fully actualize our this moment as a way to move towards fully actualizing our life? So we will have this time to come into this still point, to come out of the busyness, to come into this connection together, this exponential growth of potential that we can build together as we bring our energy and our intention. What I feel like I have been on a passionate journey to try to help and make the world a better place, to assist humanity in these shifts and changes for many years. And what I've come to is that when we make the changes that we want to see in the world, when we help support each other to come into our potential, that is how we get to the potential of a new earth, of the potential that's available to us in this age that we're moving into. Is by each of us taking our power back individually, each of us saying, hey, I want a real life. I want to live here. I want to feel. I want to experience. I want joy. I want happy. I want knowledge. I want growth. And so this is the proclamation of the desire to be fully present in your life, to be fully present for what's there. Now, part of the soul team energy is like being open to synchronicities, you know, and we can't be open to the synchronicities if we're busy, filling our lives all the time, doing so much stuff. So part of the soul team coaching is about helping ourselves and each other, support each other's, to carve out this time to be, carve out and connect with a group, carve out this moment to come into yourself. So the still point is a very important tool, and we can kind of talk about that one as the first one to look at when we go into a deep meditation, which we'll be doing on the call. We can access the still point, and that still point is just a deep place of present time, and where you can move into the consciousness of the heart, oneness consciousness, and work with your energy field, work with your timeline, get the visions of your next steps and the information you need. So that's the purpose of the activation. At the end of the call, we'll be doing a deep guided activation similar to the activation calls, but one tailored specifically for what the group is working on. And so the purpose of that activation is to, first of all, have the mental, we'll talk it through, think it through, analyze it, share. And then we have the feminine way of looking at it. So first the masculine way of understanding, using the left brain, and then the right brain will allow to come forward in the meditation, to receive images, to work with our intuitive faculties, to be able to tap in on that level. So that allows our body to come into energetic frequency with our soul team. Our body, our energy field, to come into energetic frequency to the life we really want. So this is an energetic reset, and that will complete the call. But we will, with surveys and a Facebook group, be able to keep in touch throughout the week and kind of keep this energy rolling over these 2 weeks between our calls. So the call is going to start out with a short grounding, move into the intuitively channeled information, and also then the sharing and questions. And then the final part will be the deeper activation. And so today, what's really going on is this powerful Mercury retrograde. And We have been feeling this. We've been in it for about a week now. And it's an interesting thing because Mercury is at home in its home side of Gemini, and Mercury is the messenger. Mercury wants information. It wants to understand. And so this is a perfect energy to start and launch this soul team coaching, because that is the journey we're on. We want to understand ourselves. We want to understand the greater universe. We want to move into a life that feels like a part of community, a part of real living, a part of actualizing the moment. And Mars is our action planet. It's like, oh, let's go, let's do this, it's fire, it's let's take charge. And it's there in Gemini with Mercury retrograde, and they're just right there together, actually with the sun as well. And so Mars is like, doesn't have a retrograde this year, and it's just like full board ahead. I just gotta go. I just need to, let's just do something. And Mercury retrograde is like, no. Like we gotta rethink, we've got to reanalyze. And what are we rethinking and reanalyzing? Well, it's a lot of stuff. The last couple of years have been really intense, delving through the shadow side of ourselves. So what I'm finding this Mercury retrograde is what's coming up for people is hidden little things that they didn't get in the shadow work. And this is interesting because we have Saturn is right there on the edge of moving into Sagittarius, or it's on the edge of moving back into Scorpio, but it's right there at 0 degrees Sagittarius here for another month or so. And so we're going back into Saturn in Scorpio, which is making the work of the underbelly, the subconscious, the unconscious, the clearing up our shadow. So we're really getting a flashback of this last 2 years, and having the things come up, people show up in our lives, nitty gritty little things that we missed. We thought we dealt with this issue, but here it is resurfacing. And it's kind of just like somewhere in the fridge is a rotten piece of food that's making the whole house smell. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh gosh, we got to find it. You know? So in the back of your closet, you know, is maybe like an old little piece of moldy something. You know, it's time to clean it all out. This Mercury retrograde is a great time for spring cleaning. We have been in spring, we're moving into summer, but it's been with this Mercury retrograde, it makes things feel kind of like, well, we're not quite ready to move into summer. We're not quite ready to move into, and so it's a great time to clean your house, get in there, move through your closets and open them up, and just get rid of stuff that's no longer serving you. This is the Pluto-Uranus square separating. Now, that happened yesterday. Pluto and Uranus, the big players in the sky for the last 5 years, have just finally come out of their 6-degree orb, but not before Venus has come into an opposition with Pluto. So Venus is in Cancer, opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto is the disintegration, the breakdown of the structures, and Venus is bringing the light of her divine feminine self to play. And she says, okay, yeah, we got to make some changes, but can we be harmonious about it? Can we be, the whole theme of this year is just like, yeah, we have no choice but to make some massive changes, but can we just take one foot in front of the other? The year of the sheep. Can we just go slow? Can we just figure this out? Can we just keep harmony and not have to have huge uprisings? We don't need to have violence. We don't need to have a bunch of earth changes. We can do this step by step, people. We know we need to change. We're on the path. Now, this is Soul Team Coaching. This is Soul Team Coaching, is these people that are here being like, we're changing. I'm changing. I feel it. I want to help the world change. I want to help my friends change. I want to support people in this amazing time. This is Soul Team Coaching. This is the support for you to move into your full potential as a healer, as a teacher, as a leader, as a harmonizer, as somebody who can be there for other people. Now, the cool thing about this is that when we do the deeper meditation at the end, this on the the deeper guided meditation, that is when you can really get into the intuitive tools and techniques like the still point that we talked about, grounding to Mother Earth and practicing these things and opening up to your intuitive faculties and becoming more and more confident around your intuition. And so it's a great basis to have the information of what's going on, talk about the themes, talk about what's happening in the stars in our lives, and then have a meditation to kind of, and healing. So what happens in these deep activations is, first of all, we're striving to attain a deep brainwave state. So a lot of people do fall asleep, which is totally normal. You get to fall asleep in my class, and you know you can receive it on other levels. Although if you do fall asleep, it's interesting to go back and listen again. And that's what's great about this format, is that you will have this video to go back and do the meditation over again in between calls, and to re-listen to the information to make sure you got it all. And so, because sometimes when we do this intuitive format, so much just comes flying through that wants to be heard. And so it's great that you can have this to work with afterwards. But when we go into these deep theta delta brainwave states, these are similar to where we were as a young child. And we know that the young child absorbs everything from their environment. They're literally programmed. They mimic their parents. And so when we go to these brainwave states, it allows us to reprogram ourselves. It allows us to set intention, powerful intention, to get images and information. It's like self-hypnosis, and being able to really go in and see the truth and understand things in a way that you can't do with your regular everyday consciousness. So super, super powerful. We also get cleaning the aura. We also, clean the energy field and reset to that highest vibrational potential, reset to that life of your dreams, that vibrational alignment with your soul team, with the future that you desire. And so with the cleansing and healing and harmonizing and reset, and also then timelines is a big part of the activation, is allowing ourselves to, when we go into this still point, it's like the center of, if you think about a toroidal field, which is like a donut, and all of these energies are going in and out of this donut. And if you think about it like a grid, you've often seen these grids of the toroidal field, and these, if you think of it as a grid, and these lines come in, and so they're separate, they're further apart out here on the outside of the donut, but as they go into the donut in the center, they're all very close together. So when we go into this place, we perfect this ability to access that still point, then we are moving to potential possibility to shift our timeline, to shift our destiny, as far as like, where are we most appropriate right now? Where are we at, and how can we harmonize our process by kind of shifting to the most appropriate dimensional frequency level, and also to the most appropriate timeline. And we'll get into more of that information. Whatever I've mentioned today that you have questions on, it's great. You can go ahead and send them through the chat. And also, you can email me, or we'll get that Facebook page going on so you can share on there, and we can get a discussion going about all of these concepts about ascension, spiritual growth, and still point, quantum sciences. It's just fascinating what's happening in the world right now, and Soul Team Coaching gives you an opportunity to just be ahead of the curve. I spin, one of the things that I do in my life is I spin wool into yarn on a spinning wheel. And it's a beautiful metaphor for life, because if you go too fast, then the yarn is pulled in and it doesn't have much of a spin on it, and it kind of will fall apart. And if you go too slow and it's spinning, and that you're holding it out and it's not going through, then it becomes all too much spin, and so then it just knots up on itself. So we want to be somewhere in between, and it's a really cool feeling when you're tapping into the energy and you're getting really in the flow with the wool, and you're just at the very perfect moment, place where you're just gently feeding the wool in. and the machine is taking it in the perfect spin, and it's not too tight and not too loose. And that's what I feel Soul Team Coaching is about. It's about being ahead of the spin. It's about being on the pulse of what's happening, paying attention to the stars and planets. So we're not just whacked over by it, being like, oh, this is what's going on. How do I use this to my best potential? Instead of being just rocked about on the waves of life. And so this is the tools and the support to be able to do that. And then also that overflows when you can hold that peace and that presence and that groundedness through these crazy times. It's so incredibly helpful to your community, to your neighborhood, to the people around you. And so we're going to be working with that concept too, called coherence. This was developed by the HeartMath Institute at Stanford University. They study the science of the heart, and they've shown in studies that if people are in coherent state, which this is basically a state that is in peaceful resonance with the Mother Earth. And so people have learned to create this coherent state, and they can feel when they're in coherence. So they've done experiments where one person in the room has no idea about coherence, and the other people in the room do, and how that one person is affected without their knowing by the energy of the other people who are in coherence. So powerful, powerful research out there that we affect our surroundings. Powerful. We are in a massive grid. And so part of this journey is coming together, recognizing the power in that we can connect to the collective consciousness, that we can connect to the grid around the earth and have positive, send positive energy, come into coherence, feel the people around us go into coherence as we practice that state. So we'll be working a lot with that. And so basically, just a quick recap for what's going on right now in the stars is this Mercury retrograde. We've got 2 more weeks. Clean your house, reanalyze, rethink, rediscover. This is the rethinking and reanalyzing is around Pluto and Capricorn and Venus in Cancer. How do we nurture ourselves through the structural changes that need to happen? And we've got all those planets in Gemini, thinking, analyzing, blah. 2 asteroids in there, Eros and Sappho, both around sexual identity, sexual passion, creative passion. Vesta is hanging out there with Chiron in Pisces. And so that's talking about the wounds of the past age and how do we move into our gifts? How do we move into our passionate gifts and learn from our, allow our passionate gifts to come out from under the pain of our past. Okay, so this is what we're rethinking. We're rethinking our whole life path, what we're doing, what we really want to spend our time doing, how we want to support ourselves in these changes, and our sexual passion, our identity. Who are we? That's Uranus and Aries. Uranus is lightning fast, revolutionary change, and Aries is a sign of the self, the identity, and so the revolution in this time is in who we are, collectively and individually. Collectively, we're being called, this Mars with Mercury. Mars is the fighter, let's do it. And right there with Mercury in this retrograde dance, Mars is saying, come on, let's go. And Mercury's saying, I don't know, I'm not quite ready. But Mars is demanding that we get the information we need. And that's kind of a cool energy for our planet right now, especially out of those eclipse cycles this spring. Maybe we're getting to this more disclosure coming out about the truth of what's going on so we can start to be set free. It's come forward that our evolution in the future, in the next 10 years, 100 years, really has a lot to do about these next couple years and how much information comes forward about what's really going on. So it's up to us to talk about what's really going on. It's up to us to live what's really going on. And that is us taking our power back on this planet. And not through having a bloody revolution, but through having the inner revolution of being like, yeah, it's great you have us all paying for power, but I can create that in my own body. So once we really understand this and know how powerful we really are and how the energy field, what happens out in the cosmos to create is also available to us in this body. That's a big part of what the activations will be about, tapping into the creation energy available to us in our own body to be able to create the life that we want. and desire in the world that we want and desire. So we create our own life that we desire, and that's how we create this new world. So that's where Soul Team Coaching ultimately comes from me, and my passionate search, my passionate desire to help people be on their path, to feel fulfilled, to feel like they're really living life. And so I'm super excited that you have come to be a part of this journey. And we're going to be deepening our connections, deepening our purpose, deepening our power, empowerment, as we help reflect each other's journey back to each other in the Soul Team Coaching. So the next 2 weeks, Mercury retrograde, find lots of time to meditate, to think things through. It's a really great time to write. And Gemini loves the written and spoken word, to discuss things, to get together with people in your relationships. It's a great time to hash things through, maybe not try to come to some specific resolutions, but it's a good time to share how you feel and support each other in that, of really being able to be listeners for each other as well as teachers. So part of Soul Team Coaching, you're stepping on this path that you desire to be this light worker, the support in the world, and then your interactions with people change and become more meaningful. And so all that can be supported so well when we come together. So enjoy the next couple weeks. It'll be perfect timing for the first official. This is an introductory call, but the first official Soul Team coaching call. These are going to be, you can sign up one at a time whenever it works for you for $10 a call, or you can sign up for $20 a month ongoing subscription. So I'll make sure you have that information to sign up for the first Soul Team Coaching call. I can't wait to be on this journey with you and see where it takes us and how much exponentially we can come together and help each other in our activating into who we really are, the life of our dreams, what we really want here. We deserve that. That's our birthright. Part of this Chiron and Pisces, and Vesta coming up with Chiron and Pisces, is saying, we don't have to sacrifice and struggle anymore in order to serve. Sacred service in this time is about letting ourselves access joy. We cannot serve the planet unless we can access joy, unless we can feel good in ourselves, feel good in what we're doing, feel good about how we're living, how we're treating other people, how we're being treated. It's time. This Venus and Cancer opposing Pluto and Capricorn right now is saying, I'm not up for the bullshit. I'm not this Mercury retrograde and Mars right there. It's just like this demand for information and clarity and truth. And that is having some people wake up to kind of see things as they really are, to wake up to what's really going on. And we all have an opportunity to stand in our truth and represent the world that we want to see by being true to ourselves. And that's really what we're being called to do. We're being called to, even though we're in this identity crisis, we don't really know who we are, but we know it feels good. And for light workers and those of us who have a desire to be of service to the world and to be of help in this time of shifting, these people throughout time were very persecuted and kept very separate from each other. And it became programmed into us that, to care about other people and to be compassionate on that way is kind of something weak-willed, or, something not very attractive, or something maybe bad or scary. You can't trust it. And it's time for us to stand up and be like, this is the truth of who I am, humanity. This is the truth of who we are. And we don't want to treat our planet like this anymore. We don't want to treat each other like this anymore. We want to stop these abusive patterns. We want to feel good. about what we're doing each day. Feel good about, that we're not hurting the planet by driving our cars. We've been trapped into this deep cycle of guilt and regret. And Mercury retrograde is always going to bring up those feelings because it's about retracing our steps and going back into the past. But of course, we always find that there's no regrets, there's no mistakes. We always learn from everything that we experience. And so it doesn't do any good to beat ourselves up. And so Venus in Cancer there is an opportunity to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to stand up for my truth. But in order to do that in the first place, you have to love yourself enough to honor your truth. And Venus is asking us for this self-compassion as we go through these changes. And that is a cornerstone. Until we can really take care of ourselves, we can't really help the world. And so that's a big part of Soul Team coaching, helping each other help take care of ourselves, reminding each other in a protocol of self-care, filling our own cup so that we can share our overflowing cup, our never-ending source of creative energy that we can access within our own body, and allow that to be in a beautiful coherence that can be a beautiful effect in the world. Just us being us, just being your light, being who you really are, a gift for the world. And that is ultimately your purpose. So on that note, let's move into a grounding meditation to just feel all of this that we've talked about. Feel an opportunity to come into alignment with this compassionate self, with this full cup, this permission for joy, for service, sacred service that comes from a place of fulfillment, not lack. So I'll see you on the other side. Let's go ahead and settle in, allow yourself to find a comfortable place. Just sitting with your back supported or laying down is fine. And know you may fall asleep, but it's okay. You can watch the video later and redo the activation. So I can feel the energy running. There's a lot of intention around this Soul Team coaching, a lot of intention I've put forward to bring together a powerful group of people I've been working with for quite a long time individually. And to me, the opportunity of bringing a group together in strong intention, in alignment with these concepts is just really exciting and powerful. And the whole basis of the Soul Team coaching and the group work is about this exponential enhancement that we bring when we bring our energy together. So just go ahead and sink in and go ahead and imagine that you can feel the energies of the other Soul Team coaching participants. Anyone who has an intention of, being on this path of truth, being on this path of self-love, service from a place of self-love. Just taking a few deep breaths and feeling yourself just sink deeply into your body. Just coming into the present moment. Arriving into still point. You can just imagine still point being a place of neutrality. Still point is nothing ahead of you and nothing behind you. Coming out of the past or the future concerns. Just coming deeper into the middle of you. In still point, there's nothing to do or to be. Just letting it all go. Just feeling the whole bottom part of your body just sinking deeply into Mother Earth energy. Feel the loving support of Gaia. Most of us move through our day ungrounded, unconnected. But feel this root system just sinking in, communicating with Mother Earth. Feel yourself held. The earth is not a rock, it is a living being, living, breathing energy field. Feel yourself a part of that. Gaia is the earth and all living things. You are a part of Gaia. We all are a part of Gaia, and yet we live ourselves as if we are completely separate. Just feel yourself coming into communication with Mother Earth. Just imagine that you're joining your energy field with her energy field. Receive the most nurturing, relaxing, loving, magnetic pull, holding you, embracing you in this present moment. Everything is fine. And just feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper. Feel your roots going all the way to the center of the earth. What would our life look like if we learned to live from this place? The earth is ever renewing herself. The earth represents the feminine regenerative power. Available to each of us. So paying attention to your lower energy centers, so important in this connection to Mother Earth. Your root chakra at the base of the spine. Just feel your whole pelvic region just release and relax. The first chakra is about fight or flight, survival, feeling safe. Many of us walk around, most of humanity walks the planet with a feeling of insecurity, a subtle level of constant insecurity. And this is an opportunity to release deeply into the feeling of being held and cared for. Mother Earth wants to meet our needs. She can. She's gives and gives and gives to us. So go ahead and just center your love deep into the roots, all the way to the center, to her core. Just sending your love for all the beautiful, nurturing energy that she provides. And just feel yourself deeply, more deeply held. And imagine that Mother Earth receives that love and she embraces you and holds you, sending the love back. And just receive, practice receiving. It's a big part of having the life of our dreams, is being able to feel like we deserve it. Feel Mother Earth's love. Feel how special you are to her. We are a part of the earth. We are interconnected whole. And paying attention to the second chakra, located in the pelvic region, associated with creative energy, emotional energy, the reproductive organs. These centers are really important. We focus a lot on the higher centers, and we will be doing that a lot in Soul Team Coaching, working on the activation of the higher centers. But the activation of the higher centers is worth nothing if you cannot ground the energy. Now, we think of grounding as maybe that, again, being attached to a rock, but this grounding is more of a completion of a circuit of energy, magnetic completion of a circuit of energy. So these lower power centers, chakra 1, 2, and 3, the third is just below the belly button. Some see it in the belly button. The chakras are energy vortexes that connect our physical body to our energetic body, our energy body to the rest of the cosmos. Most of us shut down our lower chakras because we don't want anyone else to feed on them. But it's much more empowering to be aware of your power, containing your power, owning your power. And just moving through the major chakras, paying attention to the area of the heart. This is where our arms go out from our body, our giving and our receiving, our feelings. Our physical heart, our access to heart-centered consciousness, the balancing of the male and the female, are all issues around the chakra of the heart. So just as we visit these areas of the body, imagining and feeling this activation happening, that basically these are little vortexes that have counter-rotating orbits, counter-rotating fields, so spinning one way and the other way. And you can just imagine these chakras as you visit them. Just imagine that you are inviting the most optimal spin ratio. As you feel an enlightening and an enlivening. Also, as we move up into the area of the throat chakra, just inviting the optimal spin ratio. Allowing any tension in your body in the areas of these chakras to just fall away as this activated energy just moves in and brings you into a lightness of being. and inviting this lightness of being for your glandular system and all of your higher chakras, your pineal chakra, your sixth chakra, as well as your pineal, pituitary, thyroid, thalamus gland. And your crown chakra exists just above your head, the seventh chakra, your connection to the cosmos. So just the chakras, the 1 and 7, the one at your root and your top, they point, the energy vortex points up and down. The other chakras point straight out in front of your body and back. So it's kind of like you may see a cone shape of energy if you were able to see it. So just see this cone. See this beautiful cone, a golden cone vortex in your crown chakra, reaching up to your 8th chakra, which is your creative rings. And just feel this beautiful spiral of whatever color wants to come. As you reach up, just imagine that you're reaching up to the light of the sun. Feel the energy of the sun on your face on a cool day, coming out from behind the clouds, warming your whole being. And just receive that love from the sun, sending your appreciation to the sun, opening yourself to receive this cosmic light through your crown, and let that run through your field. At the same time, breathing up Mother Earth energy from the root, imagining that you are the sacred union of Mother and Father within, bringing these energies into your heart. From below and above, just breathing into the area of your heart, imagining them swirling together in the most beautiful, loving dance. Allowing the male and female part of yourself to resonate into this beautiful, sacred, peaceful, happy marriage. Harmonious marriage within. Feeling the love of the sun and the earth dancing within you. Spiraling through all of your energy chakras. Feeling yourself in deep, deep still point. Activated lightness of being, grounded deeply and magnetically into Mother Earth. And right here in this present moment, right now. Feel the space in your mind expand as this brightness of energy moves through your brain, clearing out any clutter, clearing out the analyzing Mercury clutter, too many thoughts. Just imagine you can just get in there and sweep them out with a broom, maybe a cleansing wind. How would you like to clean out these thoughts from your mind? But just go ahead and create an expansive place to play, imagining that you are just clearing out all your concerns, worries of other people. Let them come to your mind. Who's in your mind? Who's worried about you? Who are you worried about? Go ahead and allow yourself to take this time completely separate into your own being, your own energy field, releasing all concerns for all events, past, present, future, or people. Coming deeply, deeply into this moment. Just imagine this big blank room that your mind is just this expansive space of emptiness. And the thoughts that do come in, you just sweep them right out again. Just let them flow. But feel yourself on that mountaintop at the edge of the ocean, the most powerful horizon, the clarity that comes from expansive space, and just inviting that in for your own mental sphere to support this powerful Mercury time. Feel yourself come into coherence. This is very similar to still point, with an awareness of what's around you. This coherence, this connection to the resonant frequency of the earth. Feel your magnetic field around you. It goes out 50 feet. Breathe deeply into this field. Breathe deeply into peace and coherence, and imagine that this energy is leaking out to your neighborhood. Your whole neighborhood is now beginning to feel deep peace. And just imagine you can pop that bubble out around the whole planet. Imagining that you're looking down on the most peaceful, harmonious planet. There's trials and tribulations, but from above, far enough, you can see that it's all operating in perfect harmony. Just what does it look like to live your life from this place? To be in congruence, coherence with the bigger harmony. You can just play. Do what you need to do and enjoy yourself. Trusting that everything is okay. People around you become more peaceful just from being near you. Just breathing deep into this peace. Just imagine that each breath can take you further and further out into the cosmos. Just that clear mind, clear perspective, looking down on the peaceful, harmonious movement of all the planets and stars, somehow kept into this magical rhythm. Feel yourself a part of this bigger rhythm. Feel yourself carried by a force bigger than you. Let yourself release and relax into the cosmic way of the universe. Just let yourself just lay back and be carried on the waves of cosmic energy. Floating free in the bigger harmony. Feel yourself showered with love from the cosmos. Sparkling star energy, of all the forces that want to see or succeed, that are cheering you on, want to support this magical evolution to our next place. Just feel that level of support that's available. We're so separate from in this everyday world. Feel held in that like you are in Mother Earth. Imagine that you come back to the earth bringing this golden shower of light, of hope, of love, of expansion and possibility. Bring it right down into your community. Find a good spot just to imagine staking the claim of hope, prosperity, expansion, beauty, harmony. Allow these shooting stars to just fall into your neighborhood and mark these places. Imagine that you're just setting them maybe around your yard or your neighborhood or the park. Your proclamation of the way you want it to be in this world. And receive those gifts of stardust coming back into the earth, back into the atmosphere, back into your body, just beginning to complete your journey. Recognizing as you come back on the wings of stardust that you yourself are stardust. You are the magic gift for this earth. What does that look like? What does that mean? Feel yourself arriving back into your body, just taking your time. Breathing back into your body, arriving back into your room, into your house, to your awareness, your everyday awareness. Just paying attention to your fingers and toes and your whole body as you just take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to arrive. Well, what a great journey. Thank you for being stardust on the wings for humanity. And I really look forward to the ongoing coaching calls where we can share and hear about everyone's journey. Your homework for this 2-week period is to clean out a closet and to clean out some more space for contemplation, writing, and meditation as you allow the mercurial forces to work in your life and bring clarity. So thanks so much for joining me for Soul Team Coaching. I can't wait till next time. Feel free to send your comments and any questions that you have along to me, and we will talk to you soon. Namaste. I'm Adrienne Elise.